Hi Fisher Unitech SolidWorks community, this is Heather from Tech Support. Thanks for checking out our video on how to install multiple versions of SolidWorks on your machine. If you want to check out this or any of our other great Straight from Support videos, be sure to check out the Fisher Unitech YouTube page and join us the third Wednesday of every month for Straight from Support. On that note, let's jump into our topic.
So our first topic is going to be how can I install multiple versions of SolidWorks on my machine? So we're going to look at some examples of how you want to set up multiple versions of SolidWorks on your machine, how you can use this, and kind of some of the ramifications from having multiple SolidWorks versions. The first question I get a lot of times is, why would customers want to install multiple SolidWorks versions onto their machine? So why would you want to have SolidWorks 2017, SolidWorks 2018, and SolidWorks 2019 on your machine like I'm about to set up? So there are a few reasons. Sometimes, and a lot of times I see the reason, is that you're working with contractors who may have a newer or older version of SolidWorks than you, and as you guys know, once you open a SolidWorks part in a newer version, it can no longer be opened in that previous version. So if you have a contractor who you need to be sending parts back and forth with who's working in 2017, even if you guys are on 18, you might want to keep that old SolidWorks version around just so you have it. Another reason I see is just the opposite. So the contractor has 19, but you guys are still on 18 because your server hasn't been upgraded or your PDM hasn't been upgraded, but you need 19 specifically just to open this contractor's file so you can see that. So that's another reason I see there. And sometimes people just need multiple versions on the machine. They like to keep the multiple versions on their machine, especially when working with SP0, so that they know, oh, if there's something wrong, I can always go back to 18 very easily and just uninstall 2019. All right, so when doesn't this work? Are there any SolidWorks products that I can't have on multiple machines? So there are three things that you can't have multiple versions of. So the first one is the Net License Manager. So you cannot have the Net License Manager have more than one version on the machine, but you don't want to. So the Net License Manager is set up to where as long as you have the Net License Manager version of equal to or greater than of your SolidWorks version, it will dish out those licenses. So if my company were to be upgrading to 2019, they'd want to upgrade their Net License Manager to 2019, and I could still run SolidWorks 2017 and 2016 on my computer because the Net License Manager at 2019 can dish out those licenses. Same goes with PDM. So you can only have one version of the PDM server and client on machines. But that's okay because you can open 2016 files with SolidWorks PDM 2017 or 18 and save 2016 files into SolidWorks 2019. So you're not going to run into any issues there as far as the saving goes. It's just something to be aware of is when you upgrade to 19, if your server hasn't been upgraded, you want to make sure you keep your client on the same level. And I'm actually going to show you guys a little bit about that when I go to upgrade my 19 version since I haven't upgraded my PDM client. And then the last one is electrical. So there's only one version of electrical that can be on the machine at one time. And so it's suggested that you back up all of your electrical data before you go and upgrade. And it's suggested that you keep your electrical on your highest version. All right, so like I said, these three products, 4 if you count PDM server, and I guess 5 if you count PDM server and client and electrical server and client, can't be on this machine. Basically anything that's like a server product is the way you think, because the SNL is a server product. The PDM could be a server product and has a client product, and then electrical is a server product and also has a client product. So most of the things that have server products can only have one version there. So how do we go ahead and start installing multiple versions? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to get the install files for the version that you want to install. So if you notice, I have a folder set with lots of different versions of SolidWorks, and I'm going to use this to start my 2019 SolidWorks installation. So I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to grab my SolidWorks 2019 SolidWorks installation. I got the full download. This is also what it would look like if you were to pop in the SolidWorks 2019 DVD, we get all these files. And then I'm going to hit my setup icon, so this setup.exe, and I'm going to start installing SolidWorks 2019. Like I said, I downloaded the files a few days ago, but I hadn't gotten a chance to install it yet, so this is a good chance for you guys to see exactly what's going to be going on. So I want an individual version of SolidWorks 2019. I don't want to go through the process of upgrading my server yet. So I'm going to start the individual process of just putting the 2019 client on my machine just to take a look at it, and maybe I will upgrade my server, like my PDM server later. So I'm going to hit next, and so my SolidWorks serial numbers are there. I'm going to hit next again. That should import in from your previous install. So I'm going to hit next. It's just talking about Visualize Boost, which I'm not going to worry about right now. And it's going to load what I have running. I have SolidWorks running, so let me go ahead and shut that down. So remember, you want to shut down all open SolidWorks processes. So I have SolidWorks EXE running, so it warns me about that. And I hit next. And this is the question I want to focus on. So what do I want to do? Well, I want to create a new installation of SolidWorks 2019. Notice I could also have the option to upgrade one of the two versions I have on here already to SolidWorks 2019, but I don't want to do that. I want to create a whole new version. So I'm going to click this button and hit next. All right, and so it gave me a summary of my product. So I'm going to go back to the summary just so I can look at this. I have all of these different options here on what I want to upgrade for 19, and I'm going to go through each of these. So first, I look at my product selection, and what I want to look at here is I want to make sure I have all the products that I want, but also if you guys have SolidWorks PDM and your company has not upgraded your SolidWorks PDM server yet, you're going to want to uncheck this client version. If you have upgraded your PDM server, you want to leave it checked, but if you haven't upgraded it yet, you're going to want to uncheck this so that your PDM client doesn't get upgraded, because otherwise you won't be able to use your SolidWorks PDM there. Same if you guys are using Manage, or, you know what, I'm going to uncheck electrical too, because I haven't upgraded I don't have electrical on this computer. All right, so I'm going to hit back to summary. That all looks good. Now let's look at the download options. So right now, it's checked to install only, don't download. That's because I had that full download already here on my D drive. If you guys are downloading from the installer package, you're going to make sure that when it does do the download that it's going to the right spot. So if you maybe did download and install, you want to make sure it's going to a spot you can identify and just have that there. And then there's some questions about the background downloader. So this question is regarding if a future service pack comes out, what do I want the background downloader to do? So I'm going to have the background downloader download my future service packs for me, so it'll be easier for me to install in the future. Some people turn this off because it can, if their network is blocking that, it can slow down their SolidWorks a little bit. All right, next thing I want to focus on is the install location. So this is going into the install location, Program Files, SolidWorks Corp. But when I think about it, all of my files are going into Program Files, SolidWorks Corp, including the 2016 and 2017 versions. I want to be able to identify clearly which files are from 2017 and which files are from 2018 and which ones are from 2019. So I'm going to rename this folder SolidWorks Corp 2019. That way I'll easily be able to identify the program files for my 2019 SolidWorks installation. And I'm going to do something very similar with my toolbox. So I'm going to create a new version of my toolbox, and it wants to go in SolidWorks data, but same as before, the toolbox data is specific to the version. So I'm going to need to have a 2017 toolbox, a 2018 toolbox, and a 2019 toolbox. And if I look at that folder location, so that was in C, SolidWorks data, I have 17 and 18, So I'm going to want to do SolidWorks data 2019. So now I have a 2019 toolbox, and when I go to set up my toolbox, it'll be very easy to identify. I go back to summary. Everything looks good. I kept the terms and agreement. Notice this is an 18 gigabyte install. I'm not going to make you guys wait through all of that, but I just hit the install now button, and then I would go through and it would start installing my SolidWorks after I identified my server. And so it's starting the install. All right. And so that is how you install SolidWorks on multiple versions.